Hey friends, Michael Butler here. Welcome aboard. We've been interviewing authors, speakers, and experts over the last few weeks and months, and we're so excited about our guest today. We've been trying to get her on for so long, Lisa Demayo. She's a professional speaker and life coach, executive leadership coach with more than 20 years experience. She's a top earner. She's been a top earner in two direct sales companies, and she's just really hard to get a hold of. I know, Lisa, you've been out there busy speaking. You've been out there busy doing book signings and radio interviews. So she has a background in sales. And the thing I like about Lisa is she's motivating people. She's positive in this downturn in the economy. Is she's inspiring entrepreneurs, men and women alike, to make things happen, not to wait for things to happen, but to get out there and open doors. So Lisa, welcome to the show today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I'm so excited. We made it happen.
Hey, we did. We connected finally, and everybody, when I told them you were going to be on the show, they're just very excited and thrilled. Your book, and we're going to talk about the book in a little bit, but I want you to hold up the book and tell everybody how to get a hold of it. Very exciting.
It's the art of getting what you want, and you can easily find it on Amazon.
The Art of Getting What You Want.
Can you see it?
I love this. I think every parent, every entrepreneur, every business owner needs this book. Now, you talk in the book, Lisa, about, and I'm sorry for the phone ringing over here. We've got several phones, and I got most of them turned off. But I want you to tell us, you talk in the book, what is committed action? I want you to talk about that and also tell us why you wrote the book and why that concept of committed action is so important to you and your readers.
Yes, absolutely. Michael, in my industry, there's a lot of people who do coaching. And just like anything else, if you're a coach or you're teaching and training someone, I need to know you did it. I'm not okay with somebody getting up in front of the room and telling me how to do what I do without any experience in having been in my shoes. And for many years, I have done all different kinds of coaching. I'm trained in many different modalities, and I did the work, but then I applied the work to my life. So was willing to get out on a skinny branch many, many, many times over and over and over and apply what I learned. I had a coaching business in New York City. I left one position in network marketing as a top income earner, high level, speaking all over the planet for this company, walked away, started the next day at zero to join my current company. And there's something to be said about people who walk the walk and talk the talk. And that's committed action. I don't say I'm going to do it, or I wish tomorrow was better for me, or gosh, here's what you should do to change your life, but I'm in the same place I was 10 years ago and comfortable. So I've learned that for me, redefining my comfort zone, where I get that feeling in my stomach, and we all get it, that blah, blah, blah feeling, it's like, okay, something's about to happen. And that's living in committed action. It's taking the necessary steps, the action steps, toward a goal, not knowing what your end result is going to be. Your end result is an interpretation, a wish, a dream. It's a goal. It's a dream with a deadline. But anything can happen along the way. And it's knowing how to navigate through your circumstances. They're not changing, guys. Your circumstance is what it is, right? You're a single dad, a single mom, you're whatever it is, that doesn't change right away. Only your reaction to it changes. So living in committed action is, no matter what life throws at me, is knowing that I have the ability to navigate toward a goal and keep doing the do in spite of the cards I'm dealt.
Now, Lisa, you talk about in the book, visualizing your success. You've been at the top of two network marketing companies, a top earner in just 7 years. So visualizing your success, how important is it? I've heard you tell your stories on stage. I've seen you online motivate audiences. How sure were you of success, and what do you tell somebody that maybe is a little unsure of themselves?
Well, I think success is an interpretation, right? What you think is successful may not be successful for me. So I knew I would achieve it. I didn't know if it was going to be on my time, my timeline, my time frame. But I knew that as long as I got up every day and I worked toward that goal, in spite of this element called time, that I was going to be successful, because successful for me is making enough money to maintain the lifestyle that I've become very used to and raising 3 children on my own. And as long as I was going to be able to continue doing that, I'm successful in my own right, in my definition of success. Somebody else may not think I'm successful. I'm divorced. Maybe they think, she's a failure. So it's my interpretation of what success is. And success for me was to replace my income, double my income, quadruple my income, and raise 3 amazing children and empower people to do the same thing. Define, and what I mean by that, Michael, is define what you want. Be very clear about that goal, and don't sell out. Don't give up because it doesn't happen within a certain amount of time. In the big picture of life, that is irrelevant. And I've put out there many times on stage, microphone in hand, I'm going to do this by this time next year. And maybe I got halfway to that goal. And no one ever called me up and said, hey, loser, you only got halfway to the goal and you still have, they were like, Lisa, come on, you could do it. We're cheering you on. And it's just being human, that life is going to get in the way. Circumstances are going to get in the way. And you need to find that fortitude. You need to have that piece of you that's just going to have it happen. You're going to move forward anyway, and it requires just constant effort and thought to take the next action step toward the goal.
Well, and no doubt, Lisa, you've run into a number of obstacles. I know you share in your book about how you've overcome and continue to visualize success and work toward success. We're experiencing the worst recession since the Great Depression, and there's a lot of people that are getting a pink slip, they're getting laid off, and maybe many of them have wondered, could I be successful online? But maybe they've been forced out of their comfort zone. What do you say to someone that maybe is on the edge and needs a mentor? Because I've been watching you online for a while, and you're motivating people. There's people watching you that maybe you don't even realize that you're empowering them to take those next steps. What are the obstacles that you have overcome, and what would you say to somebody that maybe they're right here at the holidays and they're realizing they're coming to a crossroads? Maybe it's an end of a relationship or an end of a job or an end of an income stream. How do you pull yourself together and make that happen?
First, I would say take an inventory of the tape in your head, the CD in your head that you play over and over and over again. What is the constant dialogue you're playing? So if it's, I could never do that, this is a bad time of year, this won't work for me, this is good for Michael, this is good for Lisa, whatever it is, first write all of those down, because you've made up that story about yourself. So if you've made up assessments that no longer serve you, they're not truths, they're just assessments you've made. You need to think about, is this going to serve me toward what I want? So you first need to know how to change that internal dialogue. And we hear it all the time, and people don't believe it, but it's so true. If I said to you, Michael, gosh, I don't trust myself, I don't think I could do that, this will never work for me, I don't know, I'm just not good enough, she's younger, she's prettier, he's thinner, he's smarter, this one, are you going to join me? You're going to want to follow me? So whether I say it or I'm thinking it.
Absolutely not, right.
No way, who would want to? It's like, I'm a loser, come follow me. But when we think that over and over and over again, it really impacts the energy we have. That energy, you don't know why you follow some people, but you say, I don't know what it is about him, it just feels right. I want to watch Michael. I want to listen to what he has to say. Because you put forth a confidence that has people be engaged. Well, before that happens, there's something that goes on inside. And the first thing that I would tell anyone, in spite of whatever the current circumstance is, what are 3 great things about you? Are you a great listener? Are you trustworthy? Are you an awesome dad? play on those things that are true, things that you really can pull out and say, that is true about me, and start to brag on yourself a little bit and play that story over and over. And then coming from that place, what are some action steps you could do? So if one of the things that you say is, I'm a great mom or I'm a great dad, go do something amazing with your kids that has you ground yourself in that, that gives you the evidence that you need, that that's true for you. Brag about that to someone. And when we start to build up our confidence that way, maybe in little tiny blocks for some people, we become stronger and stronger and stronger. And now I've gotten to the point where when people tell me I can't do something, I kind of laugh because it's like, really prove me wrong, right? And I'll go find the people who tell me I can. And they're out there. They're usually more successful than me. They've overcome more than me. But what's crazy, you guys, in life is that it's the crab in the bucket story. We don't really want anybody to be way more successful than we are, because then it's just proof that I'm not living to my full potential. So I may be lazy, and keeping all my crabs in the bucket makes me feel safe and secure. I was willing to break away from that, and I was willing to let go of a lot of relationships. They're still in my life, but let go of the impact that people had in my head about what I could do and what I couldn't do. And just said, well, you know, to myself, really, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'm just going to do it anyway. And I'll tell you, even leaving one network marketing company to join another, when I was making it was a 2-year decision, 2-year process, and people said to me, you're out of your mind. You are so crazy. Do you really think you're going to be able to do that 2 times? You're so lucky you got in that company when you did. You rode a wave. It will never happen again. And, you know, it was upsetting to me to know that there's so many people out there that think that way. And it was a very bold move. I had no source of income other than what I had created, and my contract was I had to start at 0. There was no residual income coming in. And it proved not only to me, but so many people listening and following me, that sometimes in life you have to take a bold risk to have what you don't have. And that decision has been one of the best decisions I've ever made.
You know, Lisa, I heard you talk about self-talk and positive self-talk and really giving ourselves permission to succeed and the voices in our head. You know, so many of us have made decisions to move forward and embrace the unknown. And I really like what you said there. So why is it some people have trouble dreaming, have trouble taking action, have trouble moving forward? What is something you could push somebody over the edge, or maybe help them change their belief? What is one concept in the book that you use to motivate people to move forward?
Well, one of the tools that I use all the time is getting that inventory of the assessments. We first have to identify why they are where they are and what their thought process is around it. Most of the time, believe it or not, is people don't know how. They don't know how to flip that switch in their head. They need somebody else to motivate them. I can't motivate anybody. I can barely motivate my kids to pick up their stuff. I mean, I'm not a motivator. People say, she's a motivational speaker. I speak the truth, and what I do is, in the book, provoke thinking. Have people sit back and say, I never thought of it like that. I never in a million years thought I could look at it this way, because we look where it's light in our life. We look in the same places over and over. You ever lose something, you go back to the same spot. You just look there 3 times. You go back to the same spot and look again. Guess what? It's not there.
It's
You've
moved.
exhausted that possibility. So we keep going back. We do the same thing in our life. We go back to what's comfortable. We go back to what's familiar, and we go back to what we know. So even the fact that somebody would pick up a book like this, you know, maybe they're not even exposed to anything like this. Utilizing those tools, joining groups, you know, reading your blog, following people who think outside of the box. But here's the trick. You need to be willing to just receive without interpretation, because we have so much judgment built up in us about what we know is right and wrong. So if I'm reading something you wrote with a preconceived notion of, oh, he's that, I've already shut down. Why bother? So, you know, one of the reasons I wrote the book, because I don't just talk about doing stuff, I do it. And people say all the time, you're so bold and courageous, and I get described as that so often. I'm like, oh, I'm really not. I really do shake in my seat, and I stay up many nights going, am I really crazy? But I did the do for many years, and I walk the walk, and I talk the talk, and I do it with fear. The fear never goes away. I do it with questioning. Did I make the right decision? You know, I don't do it with regret ever. But I wanted people to know that that's normal, that there's no guarantee in life. But if we think of guarantee in life, there's a very significant way in which we hold ourselves, and it's ego-driven. If I'm so worried about tomorrow in the future, I'm almost assuming it's granted to me, that I'm so special that I'm going to wake up and there's going to be a tomorrow for me. As far as I know, there is no tomorrow for me. I act as if I plan for my future in the hopes of tomorrow can exist. But right now I have, and you have, everything we want and need in this moment. Everything. So when I think about all the fear that comes with taking a risk, it's almost as if, oh, I'm guaranteed tomorrow is going to come, so therefore that fear, that projected reality, holds me back. And I've really learned, it's a constant practice, that right now I'm satisfied. In this very moment, I'm truly grateful for what I have. I appreciate the moments. It's not easy. I get frustrated. I get overwhelmed. My kids are busy work. But it's what I want. And this is what I always wanted. I wanted to be a mom, always. And I wanted to write a book. And I wanted to be successful in network marketing. And when I sit down at my desk and I think about, my gosh, I'm really living my dream in my everyday. I'm happy. And people will say that all the time. And I don't even want to use the word happy, Michael. I want to use joyous. I'm a joyous person. Am I always happy? No way. I get frustrated when there's traffic. I get frustrated when things broke. I get unhappy when I hear sad news. But my soul is joyous. And that's the difference, and it's an acceptance of where we are in our life. If you're not choosing to accept where you are, guess what? You chose it, you earned it. No matter what card you were dealt with, the steps you took in your life led you up to this point in time. So you better learn to accept it, because it doesn't matter the circumstance. It was your reaction to it. And then from that, what is it that you're truly looking to create? And in the day-to-day, can you be excited about the ultimate goal you're working toward?
It's called The Art of Getting What You Want. People can find the book everywhere at Amazon. Hold the book up again, Lisa, and tell everyone how they can follow you and find you online.
Right now, the easiest way to find me online is my fan page on Facebook. It's Lisa, and my maiden name is L-I-V as in Victory, O-T as in Thomas, I. And then my married name, Demayo, D-E-M-A-Y-O. I'll be posting, my website is under construction right now, so that Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, those are the easiest ways to follow me right now, all through my name. And stay tuned, I'll be posting the new website shortly. The book is on Amazon.com, it's on Books A Million, and they could always go through your blog as well, Michael, to find it, because we'll be setting up some information there as well.
Absolutely. Well, we're coming up on the first of the year here. We're going to the holidays, and I know it's a big time for your industry as you're helping people get well. And I want to encourage people, follow Lisa. She's been there, done that. She doesn't just talk about it. She makes it happen. And she's a great person to follow and learn from. So, Lisa, we definitely want to have you back on when you launch the new site after the first of the year. And we've got some exciting things to announce as well. So I think it'll be a great win-win. January 2nd-ish, that first week of January, be watching. We're going to have Lisa back on because there's so many exciting announcements. Lisa, thank you so much for being on the show today, and have a super holiday and a great time with your family this Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you.